Baseball Books and Banter with me, your host, Nicole. I apologize for the puffy eyes today. I'm mad at the Red Sox, the Bruins, and the Celtics. And I also saw the movie The Sheep Detectives yesterday, and it hit me in the feels harder than I thought it would hit. And so we're a little puffy. But I've got, and also allergies because cats and pollen just But anyway, I'm really excited about today's guest, Sharon Lynn, who we have been trying to schedule this interview for since her book came out in March, her fourth book. But I, being the horrific planner that I am, keep forgetting I schedule her, and then I forgot that I have other things happening. So we are finally chatting, and I'm very excited, even though she got me on a day after Bruins lost game 6 to get get hit out of the playoffs, after the Red Sox won Friday, lost yesterday, and now they're 0-0. And the Celtics lost game 7 against the hated 76ers. So the one good thing is the New England Revolution won last night, and so did the the Boston Fleet didn't win last night, but they're still in the playoffs. So Women's Hockey League, we're cheering them on. But yeah, some of the baseball has been hurting lately. I don't think we talked about this because it happened like so quickly, but my guy Alex Cora got fired by the Red Sox, and I'm still a little mad about it. Nothing against Chad Tracy, who they called up from the Woo Sox. It seems fine. The team is just a mess, and I don't know what to do about it because all my favorite guys nobody likes, and that's kind of annoying. Like I love me some Masataka Yoshida, and nobody wants to play him. Jaron Duran, he's been on the trade block like 4 million times. So it's been a bad season. And again, I think I talked about this before, but I every time I have a book release, the Red Sox decide not to play well. So this year, the book is coming out in September, and they've decided to not play well. So, I don't know. I hope it doesn't continue because I'm supposed to have a book every year for the next 3 years. So hopefully it's a one-off. I would love to say it's still early, but it's not still early. It's May, and they got to start like getting their S together because I'm just so tired. Although I did hit up my friends who have half season tickets to get me the water jug, drink jug that they have, the Fenway one. So I'm really excited about it. Obviously, I want the green one, but if I can't, I want the blue one. That's just a little thing. So that's my Red Sox fandom right now. Kind of a bummer. Back to the Sheep Detectives. As Sisters in Crime, we got invited to attend an early screening. It comes out next week. It's a little dark for kids. I would say like maybe 12 and up. It's rated PG, but like, I mean, I was a wreck in it. It's really funny if you like British murder mystery shows like Midsummer. It's set in a small Britishy Scottish town. The sheep are the detectives, and they have a lot of funny moments, a lot of really, really funny moments, but there's also a lot of like hit you in the feels moment. And if you've experienced loss of any kind, it gets you when you least expect it. So I really enjoyed it. I told the woman on the way out, I said, loved it, 2 thumbs up. I will never watch it again because I know it's just too much for me. But all the sheep were great. Hugh Jackman was in it more than I thought. I sort of figured out the killer pretty early, but that wasn't a deterrent to the show or the movie. I thought it was kind of telegraphed, but not really. Emma Thompson, I wish had a bigger role. I honestly thought she was going to be the bad guy. So maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But yeah, so I recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the murder mysteries of England, like myself. What else is going on? Red Sox being annoying. I started watching Sister Bonifaci again. It's been on the BritBox Mysteries, so I've been catching up on that. We've just been living the dream, right, Madeline? Doesn't care. It's starting to get warm every now and then. Today is not one of those days, hence the cat Walmart sweater. And I don't know what I'm going to do with myself if Red Sox can't get their S together because now that I have no playoffs to watch, other than the Fleet when they're on TV, kind of quiet. I am still following the Nats because I do love my Nationals guys. But yeah, so I really, so kind of funny that I interviewed Sharon this weekend because I saw the Sheep Detectives. I've been watching a lot of the British mysteries, and actually her books are set in England in the Cotswolds. And it kind of worked out perfectly because I'm kind of having a moment with the British murders. So I'm very excited, and it was super fun. And she's super nice and so smart that, like, honestly, if you're looking for anybody to give a workshop or do any of that, definitely reach out to her. I'll put her website below so you guys can just click it and find her. And she's got 9 books in the series. She's up to book 4, which is 2 thumbs up. She's a Level Best Books fellow author, and I'm very excited that I got to chat with her finally. So enjoy the interview. And on the other side, we'll talk about some more books. But welcome, Sharon Lynn, to the podcast. I'm so excited. We were just shooting the S a few minutes ago. We have tried to do this interview. This is the 3rd time we got it scheduled, and I'm so excited.
And we did it.
And we finally got it. The first time I was in Mass Maritime with my dad, he is part of the team that put together the training ship for the cadets. So they were going on their first trip, and I got the ping, and I was like, oh no. I was like, this poor woman. And then yesterday we were just talking about Sisters in Crime New England got invited to go to a free screening of the Sheep Detectives. And obviously, as a sheep aficionado and a mystery fan, I had to go. So I'm so excited, especially because we are about like a month and a few days after the release of your 4th book in the Cotswold Crime Mysteries. Look at it. And I will say, I just downloaded the first book because it's on sale on Amazon. So I was like, I should be better prepared. But why don't, before we get too into the weeds, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself and what brought you to writing?
Actually, it was more what brought me to mysteries. I've always loved mysteries. When I was a little girl, and I'd see a crushed flower, I would just like build a whole, somebody got kidnapped and taken into a tunnel under the streets, even though we don't have tunnels under our streets where I'm from.
Right. Clarification, she's in Arizona, so there's no Arizona. I don't think, as far as we know.
We have lots of land. We can just go out. We don't need to go up and down.
Exactly.
So yeah, I've just always loved mysteries and read a lot of Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes and Edgar Allan Poe growing up, and my dad loved mysteries, so I would read anything that he had laying around, even if it was not, appropriate. There were some John D. MacDonald books where I was like, what?
As a 12-year-old reading V.C. Andrews, I understand completely. Very inappropriate. Yes.
So yeah, and so I just once my daughter was a teenager, I just started writing because she didn't need as much attention as she did when she was little. And I had written a book and gone to some conferences and just learned so much from like Writer's Digest and Romance Writers of America. I tried to write a romance. I could not help throwing a dead body at it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't read romance.
Right.
I read mysteries.
You write what you read a lot of times. It's like I read a lot of sci-fi, and I'm not going to write a sci-fi one, but like if I'm writing my mysteries, I'm going to read the genre because you just want to keep your brain sharp too. And I think that's why mysteries are great, because they keep you sharp, because you have
right. Well, I had somebody ask me what, the best piece of advice for aspiring writers is, and I said read. Because you just have to have that connection with the community, and the mystery community is such a lovely community. I mean,
I tell this to people all the time. I'm like, you would think for a bunch of murderers, thieves, terrorists, we would be a true crime aficionados. We would be like dark, but look at I was just gonna say, look at the two of us. We're so light and fluffy in like real life. And you go to these conferences, and I remember my first conference, I'm like, oh my God, these are like real titans of industry in our industry. Like, these are people who've written, 30, 40, 50 books. And here I am with my baby book that's not even published yet. Like, they're gonna think I'm a poser, an imposter. Never, ever, ever got that feeling.
So nice. So
Never got the
nice.
feeling. They
Yeah.
welcome you. And of course there's always a few bad apples, but like they're not the norm. And people
Right.
call them out. Like you get called out if you're kind of being a dick. So I agree with you. You read, even if like in the genre, and I love that our genre, I'm going to call it our genre, is so diverse. Like we have, the cozies, the thrillers, the romantic suspense. There's even a little bit in there. So I agree with you. I think even reading stuff that may not be your specific, genre, it
Mhm.
keeps you informed of what's kind of out there, and it's
Yeah,
important. Yeah.
absolutely.
And definitely read,
Read, read,
which
read.
is a problem when you
Read
have like
these.
a day job, or
Read
or
yours.
you have like that's what I've been trying to do all weekend. I'm like, I'm gonna write today, and then I'm like, but there's a baseball game and it's raining out, and like, but I'm halfway through my book. I'm like, I gotta finish it. So yeah, it's hard to kind of reconcile sometimes the writing and the reading, but definitely read.
Yeah,
And you're
definitely.
not just saying that because I did some research before I started, because sometimes I'm like a professional. You teach
I
writing.
too.
Yeah, so it's something that you want to give to the community, and also film and theater, which I love that grouping together. I just think that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
it kind of started out with theater and like acting and writing a good character, very similar.
Yeah,
You're deep diving into that character's motivations, where
yeah.
they're going. And sometimes with acting, as with at least when I write, sometimes your characters go someplace you're not expecting, and it's good.
And that's
Um,
and that's kind of an interesting segue into, are you a planner or a plotzer or a pantser or how a gardener or hunter, whatever they call it these days? Like, how do you kind of approach your
I
writing?
the idea of pantsing is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
I am just a very organized person. So what I do is I'm a tent pole plotter.
Okay.
So I have, what's going to happen at 10,000 words, 20,000 words. It,
Oh, okay.
and so I have this roadmap of what's going to happen. But like I have my main character and she's doing photographing artifacts right now for her she's no longer an intern. She's now got a
Well,
part-time job at the Roman Baths in England. And this guy just walked in and he's a little bit on the spectrum and he's just really good at recognizing patterns and
mm.
he picks up everything she's been learning like that. I don't know where this guy came from. He just
Yeah.
walked
I
in.
think people don't realize that even if you're a plotter, there's still time there. Plotting, yes, you kind of have like the tent poles, but things happen,
Things happen.
and sometimes characters become bigger than you thought they were going to be,
Hmm.
or you
Yeah.
find them more interesting as you're writing those tent poles. You're like, oh, I have questions about this guy, like I
Right,
need him to talk to
exactly.
me some more. So I'm a pantser, and it is terrifying. And it's kind of funny because I actually this week put together a post. This is my chart of how everything is, and I haven't looked at it since, so I don't know what I'm doing. That's 30,000 words chapters in here, and I'm like, oh look, I changed the name 4 times of the family. So yeah, I'm in awe of people that can do a little bit more of that plotting. And I think it's probably because now you're on book 4,
Mm.
probably having those initial outlines or plot tent poles helps you kind of see where you're going
Yeah.
in the future.
Well, like I said, I'd written that first book, and then my daughter said, I want something for me. Why don't you write a mystery for somebody who's in college? And
Love that.
when we lived in Bath, I lived in
Okay.
Bath when I was a teenager. So
You're
so
good at
Maddie
that,
was
by the
very
way. I'm so bad at
yeah
the pointing. I'm like, I'm impressed you did that on the first try. So
yeah.
well done. Yeah.
Um, so as a teenager, my sister was 20 at the time.
Mhm.
So it was very much a, well, right, well, and
Yeah,
I know Bath and I know, teenagers because I teach college students.
yeah,
And I had a teenager. And so I wrote Death Takes a Bath for my daughter for her 22nd birthday. And it's unusual to have a teenage
yeah,
main character in a cozy. So I like to think of it as kind of like a maybe a gateway drug.
yeah.
Uh,
No, I love
get some
that.
of the
Yeah,
younger people into
it is.
cozies.
You either get like the mid 30s, which is my character, or you're getting a lot now the senior sleuths. But
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't kind of see, like, you have Nancy Drew, and but that's written not for an adult audience. Like, that's
right,
written that, yes, she's 20, but it's written for 15-year-olds.
right.
But this age with a cozy, it's almost like you said. I like the idea of your daughter saying it's like a gateway. Um, because I don't think I picked up cozies until after college, after, even, well, I was reading them before I started writing one. But yeah, I like that idea of it's an adult mystery, because 20-year-olds, yes, they're teenagers, they're still young, but they're seeing a lot more real world things than like the secret of the old clock.
Right, right,
So
right,
I love that idea. It's kind of like new adult, if that genre ever really took off,
right.
mysteries. Oh, I love that.
Well, have you ever seen Inside Out?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Disney Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is 100% real brain science.
Yeah.
So your brains actually do, form
Yeah.
and collapse and form and collapse. And your brain does it when you're two, when you're 10, when you go through puberty, and girls when they're 19.
That makes sense.
So 19-year-old girls are simultaneously the smartest and the dumbest creatures on earth because their brains are remapping.
Every
So
five
they have
minutes.
all these experiences, but they're
Yep.
not sure what to do with them. And it's just a great, great time to write. And a character, it's like, oh, I have this amazing opportunity, and then I'm going to fall asleep at work.
Okay.
Just
And then it happens again in menopause. Same thing. That's how I am at right now. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I think that's, and also I think it's a great idea to start at that age, especially because I see you have you're contracted for 9 with Level Best books.
yes.
You're only at 4 right now, so
Yeah, I'm writing
it's
5.
really nice how you can start her at this formative age, her first big thing, and then you explore her kind of growing up through it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like already just, I mean, because the first 3 books just took place in one
Sure.
semester, which is a lot of death.
Yeah.
So I am
Oh, it's cozy
extending the
thing. Yep.
timeline for each new book.
Okay.
They're a little more seasonal after
Okay.
that. So we do get to see how she is growing and these moments of crisis she has where she like just calls her mom and says, "Can I come home?" And her mom recognizing it's like, "No, you're good there."
Yeah, you're
Um,
okay. Yeah. Just stick it out. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is kind of and I projecting into 9 books. I'm seeing where she's going and what
Do
she's
you
going to wind up
do you have
doing.
like a story arc for the next 5 books? I know you said you're writing book 5, but
I'm writing book 5 right now, which does not have anything to do with baseball, but it
no.
does have to do.
Okay.
It's Death Plays Croquet.
Love it. Love it. Hey, you got to go with where you're at. And your path
Right.
doesn't have a baseball team to talk about. So
Right.
understood.
Um, so yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we're going to Death Goes to Church, and then Death Takes the Stage, and I
Ooh.
actually have a accompanying or related series with my main character's mom, who is a Shakespeare professor,
Oh, I love that.
and so it's like that series, book 4, and this
Yeah.
series, book 7, will intertwine
I love
in
that.
Stratford upon Avon.
I'm a big fan of, and I haven't done this yet because I'm still in book 3 of mine, so I'm like not anywhere close to that. But I like authors who do have kind of simultaneous, not simultaneous, but series that are adjacent,
Mhm.
and being able to merge them. I think that's such a great idea. I'm sure you know Victoria Thompson, the Gaslamp Mysteries, the Counterfeit Lady Mysteries, who's passed away, but her daughter just finished the last counterfeit lady mystery, and I got it on NetGalley, and it was gorgeous because it was the two characters from her mom's big series and then the newer characters, and just the meshing of that. I think that's fun for
Yeah, that
authors, right?
I really like it. I think
Uh,
it's I mean, I was reading one series that was um I don't know, it was about vampires. But it was two different books that I was like, I kept going back this one
yeah,
and then this one and this one. I'm like, oh,
I think
word for
that's
word, they got this scene right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's so, that's a talent too, especially if they're writing it at two different times like
Yeah.
that. To me, is like, whoa. Like at least in mysteries, you can kind of, they're in two locations, so it's like they're not completely the same mystery,
Yeah.
but oh, that's really cool. I like that. And is so you wrote the book at the behest or the suggestion of your daughter.
Yes.
Um, is the main character based on her, or is it kind of
A little bit of my daughter and a little bit of my sister.
yeah?
I could
Do they know
never.
that? Do they know?
Yes, they do.
Okay. I was like, is this breaking news? And they're like, what did you mean that was like me? Yeah. Phew.
No, my sister's like, it's me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah." And I wanted it to be more like my daughter, but as I was writing, I'm like, I can't put a severed human ear on my daughter's doorstep.
No.
No way
And
can I
especially
put her in danger.
if you start putting like romance in there, you're like, I don't want to know about that. No, daughter, she's gonna be good forever. She's a nun. I don't know what's happening. But my mom, I mean, my main character is very loosely based on me, and she was like, I can't read it because it's you. Like I know I can see that it's Nicole, your voice. And I'm like, but mom, you don't own a baseball team. So it's not really, unless you want to buy one. But yeah, I think it's funny. And I also think it's funny if you don't think like you're writing a character based on anybody, but the person thinks it's them. Because
Yeah,
it's interesting to see how people see themselves in your world. You know?
right, right. Well, I have my dashing Scottish constable, who is my main
Yeah.
character's love interest. My first draft, my daughter read it and she's like, Edward's boring.
Oh,
He's just
yeah.
hot. And I'm like,
And
okay. So I went through and I did everything that I tell my students to do in
yeah,
my character development class, which is, make the bios and give them
yeah,
all this backstory. And when I did that, I found out so much about him that I
yeah.
didn't know. And that formed a huge part of the second book, Death Takes a Fall. It
God,
was
that was so
his
good.
background and
I love that. So God, I'm so bad at the pointing. Um, so do you have like a Bible for each character kind of thing, or a bio for each character?
I do. I
That's
do.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Once they just like walk into the room, then I have to take them aside and make sure I have
Give them a little talking to and
right.
down their
Yeah. Well,
autobiography. Yeah.
and I'm gonna sneeze.
That's yeah.
Pardon me. Stage sneeze.
I was gonna say also it's like cat allergies through the phone because I have a cat right here. And she's like, I know that lady. I'm gonna get her.
Well, and in book four, um, one of my characters who he's an aristocratic co-worker of my main character. I had written out his bio, when I did the first book, and things that I established then are finally coming out in book four because he's just a secretive,
Guy,
he doesn't talk a lot about
the
himself.
upper lip Brit kind of
Yeah.
thing. Just keep it.
Yes. Mm.
I love that. Yeah, because I don't think I haven't put together a like bios for each character. Like in my head, I know that this is probably why I have to do a poster board of things. I'm like,
I was going to
what's
say,
their
you're
name?
going to do it. You're going to
I
put it
gotta
on
do
the
that.
poster
Yeah,
board
because
and you're not going to look at it.
there's like one character whose backstory like I know, but nobody else knows, and it's very much I've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm a big fan of reading like Clive Cussler novels and adventure novels and Lindy Walker's and Bruce Robert Coffin's Carter Mosley files. That's the character in my head. So I almost don't want to write his bio because then it's like, who is this guy? Like he's not a main character though. He's kind of just floats around the edges. He knows how to fly a helicopter. Why? Nobody
Why?
knows. Nobody knows. He just knows. Yeah, probably after book three comes out, I'll take time to because I think I have three more after that. Well, I'm writing book four. So yeah. I think it's a good idea to kind of take stock of where you're at, like after a
Mhm.
couple books. I think that probably helps push you in the direction to go forward,
Yeah.
seeing where you come from. And I think cozies are hard too, because like you said, the first couple books are all in the same span of a few months or weeks or whatever. It's hard to grow in a month,
Right. Right. Yeah.
but you also don't want to write 9 books of the same character, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's a great. I'm gonna take myself a note right beside me. This is why you're a teacher, I can tell. I did see on your website you offer workshops, so everybody go to her website if you're looking for some workshops to, kind of see where you're at, for everything. Really, I love. There was one. What was it? The male and female gaze, or what was it?
Brains. Our
Brain.
brains are really
Yes,
different. Yeah.
that I thought was really, that one sounded really good, because
Yeah.
it's true, because you see online and like people talk about how men write women and how women write women and vice versa. Like,
and how women write men.
yeah.
And
And
yeah, it's like, no, he's not thinking that.
no,
He's thinking what's for lunch.
right. Exactly. Yeah. Like he's just wanting to watch
He
the,
does not smell that.
no,
Men's brains do not have, women's brains have a much larger olfactory.
because we're awesome.
Well, it's to identify babies. It all goes back to hunter-gatherer stuff. Men
My
have a
brain.
better sense of direction. They do. It's
Yeah.
their brains.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
I can make my way
but
out of
it's
Portland.
also, and it's, I think it's important for people. And I think that's where it comes into, going to conferences, going to things, having other writers teach you, joining Sisters in Crime, joining Mystery Writers of America, because I don't know that just off the top of my head. Like I can
We
watch as much Jeopardy as I want, but I wouldn't know. I didn't know that women have a better sense of smell than men. It's just something I never learned or never really put in there. Will I
we
remember it
we
forever?
we store language in both sides of our brain.
Yeah. So that's
We're better at talking
why, mhm,
because our brains make us that way.
yeah. So there, it's not a defect to be a talky, Kathy. And you too could start a podcast if that's, but I think that's, yeah, and it makes sense because I love baseball. You could ask me for, who played in the 19, I don't know. I just like it. Like it's
Who
just,
knows that?
yeah, but men do. So,
Except spies.
like, well,
Um,
that too. Oof.
yeah,
Spies
actually.
are a whole nother level of, guys, don't worry, I'm not a spy. I will not spy on that. But yeah, I think that's something that those kinds of organizations, and I think people who start to write may not know. I joined Sisters in Crime before I even had a mystery on the brain. And I think it helped hone what I was going to write, because I know I'm not Hank Phillip Ryan. I'm not going to write a thriller. I'm not Frida McFadden. I'm not writing a thriller. Like
Yeah.
you learn, it helps you learn to not what your lane is, because you can change your lane anytime, but kind of what speaks to you. And
Yeah, exactly. Like when we go to England, like my husband and I, every like year and a half to 2 years,
awesome.
so that I can do research. All the locations in my books are real. You can go to them, you can hang out there, you can take a picture and send it to me, which I love it when people do
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Um, um, and you see things that you would not see otherwise. But this is what it's like to vacation with me. It's like my husband's going, "This is so beautiful," and I'm like, "What a great place to dump a
Can you
body."
imagine if there's a body at the bottom of that? Yeah, no, that's another mystery writer problem. We're the nicest people. We're cinnamon rolls.
Right.
But if we see, I mean, you said, with the whole, you see a dandelion. I remember when we used to take car trips, because we were always big car trip family,
Mhm.
and you would pass like the woods and you'd see like a trash bag on the side of the road. And this is like at 10, 11. I'm like, what if that's a person?
Yeah, but if that's a
Oh my
leg?
God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so I feel like
exactly.
you learn at a young age kind of what you want to do. And I didn't want to murder people, guys. So I was like, don't go that way.
So let's write
Just
about it
write about
instead.
it. That's my thing now as president of Sisters in Crime. When people are like, what is Sisters in Crime? I'm like, well, we're not nuns and we also don't commit crimes. We just write them. And they're like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, yeah, it is. But I think basically what this whole conversation boils down to is you never stop learning,
No,
whether you
no.
go to back 2 times, every other year and you're like, that's new. I don't remember that. And now I want to do something about it.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
this is a different way of writing my characters, or this is how their emotional intelligence has changed. And it's learning. And that's probably why you're good at it, because you're a professor. So that whole vibe of learning.
Well, and just, going back to Sisters in Crime, I mean, I think I belong to 5 different chapters for no particular reason other
Yeah.
than just I love everyone. And
And the chapters
but
are so cheap to join. I mean, yeah, you're paying your
right.
main dues. We're hoping our chapter is going to get added to the worldwide list, because right now
Oh,
we're
that would be
separate. Yeah, but we want to be on that list so that you can just go, I want to do this one, this one, this one, and this one, because yeah, it's
that's why I joined LA. I
yeah,
mean, I joined San Diego because I had a boat in San Diego, so we used to spend a lot of time there. I joined LA because it was on the thing I could click.
yeah.
Um,
And I love the other thing I love about it is you're going to get something different from the LA group that you're going to get from the Northeast group, like, or
absolutely.
the Florida group. I can just imagine all the Florida man stories. But I think that's one of the great things about, yes, we have this overarching worldwide organization that hits the high points, the high stuff. But then you get something a little more local, like like we're doing one this month. I'm doing it, so that's why I know it. How to sell it, like markets, or how to go into a bookstore and be like, buy my book, I will do a signing. And it's kind of the stuff on the level of personal, not
Yeah,
publishing, because people don't realize you have a publisher and they're great, and we're level besties, so level best books, great, but you do the work, you're doing the like,
right,
they're
right.
doing the hard stuff, like the printing and the ordering and the da da da, but you're the one who has to go out and say,
Yep.
like your background, which for those on audio, I'm sorry, her background's gorge. It has all her awards, and it has all her books and all her all her short story anthology. Well, not all of them, because there's a million of them, but 3 of the short story anthologies. But it's doing stuff like that I think you get on the smaller chapter levels than the bigger level, because that's more of
Right.
high level stuff. So everybody go join them. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Join Sisters.
Well, and readers join them as well,
Yep.
just so that they
And they
can,
should. I mean, like I said, I
yeah,
joined before I even had an idea, I had a thought that I would be a writer. Like, I didn't even think. I was just like, I like mysteries.
right.
And that's why I
Yeah.
go to Malice Domestic. It's like, yeah, if I have a book to sell, that's great. But I just want to buy, again, it goes all the way back, circling right back to the beginning. It's all about reading and meeting people and finding the group of people. It's like a found family thing. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think
exactly.
I wouldn't have as many friends. Wow, that sounded really bad. I don't have any friends if it
Like,
wasn't for the mystery
I'll be your
community.
friend, Nicole.
I know. I'm like, wait, that sounds bad, but it's true. Like, I consider my sisters and my misters that they're my friends, and so
Right.
and it's so much, as an adult, it's so hard to make friends. So it's nice to have kind of a built-in. Oh, these are people that like what I like, and I love the era
Great
that
community.
we're living in, because there are so many organizations. No matter what you read, no matter what you write, you can join and
Right.
learn.
Exactly.
Um, but we do have 10 minutes left before we get kicked off, because I'm cheap. And I want to see if you have any book recommendations and or books of your heart that you want to share, that kind of thing.
Um, all right. Well, as I said, I read mysteries.
Yeah.
Of course, everything by Reese Bowen. I love
Yes.
her Royal Spinus series
Yeah.
so much.
Same.
And I just think she's a genius.
That's
And
another mother-daughter duo now.
right.
Yeah.
And Reese was born in
Yeah,
Bath,
she's okay.
and then she like her daughter is in Arizona,
Yeah.
and she has a place in Sedona. So she's very much like my main character,
Yeah.
except opposite.
Sure. I feel that.
And then right now, there were a couple of authors that I met at a BoucherCon. I think it was actually 2 years ago. G.M. Mallier
Yes.
and Connie Berry.
Yep.
And we were on a panel together
British.
about, it was an
Yep.
England-based panel. And I always like to read everybody's book on the
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
And so I have been reading the Kate Hamilton, Connie Berry's Kate Hamilton, and G.M. Mallier's Max Tudor series. And I usually just read one and
Oh no,
then
you get
move
it.
on to my next panel and my next,
Yeah.
everything
But
else that I have
cozies
to
are
read.
hard because they're like Pringles. Like once you start a series
Yeah,
and you hit with the characters, you're like, well, now I'm going to breeze through all of them.
but, right. Yeah.
Especially
And
like when
so
you get a respawn and you're like start at one, now you have like 25 to get to.
I know.
So yeah,
Right.
crazy.
So I highly recommend
Connie Berry, who's been on this podcast. So she
oh
is
yeah,
a
she's
friend of
delightful.
the program. And also I see I did just join the Blackbird writers email list today. So you
Awesome.
and a bunch of other mystery, thriller, romantic suspense authors. Sharon Michaelov also was on the podcast. So I saw her name
Right.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I know her. She's a friend. So join that, people. It's through your website. You can find it. And obviously that's where people can find you. But do you have anything coming up in the next few weeks you want to make sure people know about?
Um, let's see. I think my next big thing is actually
Okay.
BoucherCon. I'm going to be doing a local signing,
Yeah.
but I'm in northern Arizona in a little
Okay.
town, so
Gotcha.
nobody's going to come
BoucherCon's Calgary.
from outside of it's
BoucherCon's Calgary this year.
BoucherCon is Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will
so
not
pretty
be at that
excited
one.
about
That I'm not a flyer. But I will be at the DC BoucherCon next year. So
because
hopefully you can add that to
train.
uh drive. My dad
Or
lives there in Maryland, so I can like pop over. That's awesome. Yeah, BoucherCon, especially if you're a reader, that is the way to go because that
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
everyone.
that's books on books on books on books and panels on panels on panels on panels, and
Yeah, just
you would love it. So
everybody.
it
And yeah,
definitely
it's so
go.
much, and you meet fun
Oh my
people in the
god!
elevator.
And again, the same thing. You think, oh no, my favorite, my Respawn, she's not going to talk to me. And then you say, oh, I'm a big fan, and she's like, tell me a little bit about yourself. And I tell this story all the time because I love her to death. Hank Philippi Ryan, she's local, and I've seen her at a lot of events, and we always chitty chat. And I'm like, she doesn't remember me. Like I'm just the girl who does the registration at the crime base. She doesn't talk, but she always makes you feel like you're her best friend. And it's just kind of like, even if she's lying, I don't care. Like,
No,
you feel
she is delightful,
she so and
so fun to watch on
always
panels, and
always to a T, 7-inch heels, perfectly coiffed. I'm like, I did an event with her a couple weeks ago, and I got so hot. My hair was in a ponytail. Like I was sweating. And she just gets up there like, no problem. Like just, it's probably all the TV she did. She's used to the bright lights, not me. I'm like, ugh. My perimenopause brain is like, it's so hot in here. It's not winter. I'm so glad we got to finally connect.
Yes,
And this was great. And hopefully when book 5 comes out, we can do this again, and
I
this
would love
with like
to.
real schedule, and hopefully I'll get to see you at like real life events and not
That will
just
be
on the level best stuff.
really, really fun.
Awesome, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Nicole.
Oh no, that's not what I want to do. See how fun. And I'm diving into the book tonight, so I cannot wait to get started with it. Friend of the program, Adrian Andover, his second book in his series is coming out, and he sent me a copy to take a look at. So I'm very excited to dive into that. He will also be, I'm hoping, coming on the podcast again soon. He was delightful last time. Since we spoke, I ended up not going to Malice Domestic because gas prices are more than my mortgage. So I stayed home, got my nails done instead. But I still got a lot of reading done, got a little bit of writing. But all of my friends, I had FOMO because I love them all so much. And I sent my baseball cards down. So at least people got to get a little piece of me. And I was there in spirit, and it was lovely. I also did an interview with the Sisters in Crime executive director, Julie Henricus, who's friend of program, really just my friend. From Sisters in Crime. So if if you want to see me in a different way, you can check that out on the Sisters in Crime worldwide website. It was a couple weeks ago, I believe. So you can find it, or you can find it on my links because I link to it everywhere. Coming up, if you're listening to this before May 9th, May 9th, I will be at the Cozy Cottage in Plymouth, the Cozy Cottage by the Sea, with Bill Goyette and Denise Latham, friends and fellow authors. Denise writes romance, small town romance, and Bill writes super scary thrillers. And then I write the cozy. So if you're looking for a Mother's Day gift, not only can you come buy books, but you can also poke around with some of the artisans. And it's right behind Killen's Ice Cream, so you can get ice cream on your way out. It's perfect. Or Cupcake Charlie's. I do love Cupcake Charlie's. May 16th, I'm down in New Bedford at the, that was the accent coming out, New Bedford. At 3 Gen Wander in Love at the Kilburn Mill. She's been a super supportive indie author, fan, bookstore, etc. Also has artisan stuff in there as well. So definitely come check me out there. I think that's an afternoon, like 12 to 3 or 12 to 4 or 1 to 4. Definitely in the afternoon. So come in the afternoon. But May 9th, going back to the Cozy Cottage, that's also in the afternoon, 1 to 3. So lots of stuff going on. After that, we're kind of in a slow down. May 14th, if you're a Sisters in Crime New England member, my friend Lorenzo and I will be giving a talk on how to shine at in-person events. I'm watching Cooper bother Captain right now, and it's kind of funny because he's so small and she's so cranky. But also, guys, I'm trying to record here. Can you not? So that's going on. And then nothing in June as of right now. July, I've got July 11th, I'll be in Pawtucket. There's a Book Around Rhode Island is doing an event, a book event. So I will be there for that. Also in May, if you're a librarian, I will be at the Massachusetts Library Conference on the 18th with Sisters in Crime. And we will also have a presence in New Hampshire. I will not be at that one. And also in Maine and also at Bookstock in Vermont. So if you just want to know about Sisters in Crime New England, definitely check us out at one of those. But with all that, now I'll give you my book recommendations. First, I'm in the midst of, this is the one I'm halfway through. It's The Unwedding by Ali Condi. If you like thrillers, kind of locked room at a resort. I don't know. I didn't watch White Lotus, but let's imagine what White Lotus. It's definitely really good. I'm enjoying it. I picked it up at the Next Chapter Books and More on Indie Bookstore Day. So go check that out. Another one I got from the library is The World's Greatest Detective and Her Just Okay Assistant by Liza Tully. She read at Marcy McCreary's Noir at the Bar event, and it sounded so fun. You know, it's I don't want to say boomer. I guess maybe she's Gen X ish to boomer age, and then a Gen Z kind of assistant. So that's really fun. And also, as part of Marcy's event, she had an auction done, and I, like the masochist I am, bid on Lori Robbins's On Point Mysteries, 1 through 5th position, 1st through 5th position. As you know, I am a former ballerina who misses dance class so much. I've read the first 3, so these 3 I'm done. I'm very excited. They're really good. So I'm on to 4th and 5th. They also have them in mass market sizes on Harlequin every now and then. So I have them, and that's nice too, because I'm a big fan. Also, with part of the auction, really exciting, it was a New York City Ballet tote bag, which is really cool. So I'll be using that as we get closer to carrying books around. And I will put all of these recommendations on my bookshop.org link that you can find below. So you don't have to write them all down so quickly. You can just, I think actually it's funny, Reese Bowen's already on that list, on my historical mystery list. So you can find the books that Sharon recommends as well. And that's about it. Still drafting book 4, doing a lot of Sisters in Crime stuff as president. So I'm not as writing as I should be, not writing as much. Sorry, it's Sunday. I'm very tired. The Celtics made me mad and my brain doesn't work. So I'm really trying to push through. I'm trying to get book 4 done by September, because that's when book 3 will be out. And that way I'm a year ahead of everything, but hopefully earlier. So we're in May. I'm going to hold myself accountable and try to get it done by August. We'll see what happens. And on that note, stay tuned for more information on book 3. I should have a cover soon, maybe a better release date. Get ready. Yay. And on that note, Go Red Sox, even though they're not even, they're 0-0 now, which to me feels like a loss at this point. And happy reading.